Okay, so now what we do, we change the notation a little bit. We say that it is the n axis and it is the t axis. Okay, so this is basically the n plane and this is basically the t plane. So this block where this edge, this face is the n face, plus n plane minus n plane, plus t plane minus t plane, and the stresses acting on that t plane and n plane are shown in this diagram, where the expressions are all written here. So we have not changed anything except this left hand side part. So n, ntt and nt, they all are a function of theta. So if you keep changing the theta, you get different values. Okay. So now intentionally we are keeping this t plane separately and n plane separately. So let us see what happens when theta becomes 0. Theta becomes 0. So that means we get a configuration like that. We get this orientation will become straight, right? This straight. This is the configuration when theta is 0. So that time n plane coincides with the x plane, because we have chosen the components with respect to x and y axis, where we choose sigma xx, sigma yy, sigma yy and sigma xy. So there would be something like that. Okay. So it coincides with that. On the other hand, when theta becomes 0, the t plane coincides with the y plane. Okay, coincides with the y plane. Now let us keep this theta same for the t plane. Okay, and we just consider another block. Okay, initially oriented in a special way such that the n plane makes theta angle with that. Now we do one thing. We compute, we rotate, we change this theta. We said theta equals to theta plus pi by 2. We say that okay, theta is equals to theta plus pi by 2. So what happens? What happens? We see that okay, rotate it by 90 degree. Rotate it by 90 degree, that means this point comes here, this point goes here, okay, and you get this orientation. You get this orientation. Okay, this block you rotate by 90 degree. Theta, set it to theta plus 90 degree. Okay. So initially say it is theta 0 you see, let us change this angle phi. Okay. So this is set as theta plus pi by 2. So this block gets rotated. So on that face we see that it would be sigma nn with the angle phi. Okay, and this becomes sigma nt. Okay, sigma nt. Now you see sigma nn and sigma nt for an angle theta plus pi by 2, the orientation of the surface it becomes coincident with the t plane. But you see the sigma tt and sigma nn, they are having the same direction. Sigma nt here you see the opposite sign. Let us check by putting the values. Okay, so sigma nn theta plus pi by 2, what we get? We get sigma xx plus sigma yy by 2. This becomes minus sigma xx minus sigma yy by 2 cosine of 2 theta minus sigma xy sine of 2 theta. Okay, the first one is okay, you get the negative sign, but what about the second one? So this you can say that this is equals to sigma Tt at theta. Okay, so it takes the same value. What about the other part, other component? In T theta plus pi by 2, what you get? You get sigma xx minus sigma yy by 2 sine 2 theta and then minus sigma xy cosine of 2 theta. You see exactly it is the value of sigma nt at theta. Okay. So if you wish to describe the sigma nn and sigma nt, okay, by considering different angle, okay. So when you are not considering these two planes separately, you see that, okay, when you are rotating by 90 degree, okay, so then depending on your choice you have to consider the sign, okay, otherwise their magnitudes may be same but sign would be different. This is very, very important in describing when we discuss the Morse circle, that is the geometric way of accounting for the stress transformation apart from the mathematical way which we have written here. Okay, that time when you describe the Morse circle, this feature would be coming. We require this observation. Okay, we will see that, okay, this observation would be reflected in that Morse circle diagram. That is a geometric way of dealing with the stress transformation for 2D. Now coming to the Morse circle, as I said that it is the geometric way of representing the stress transformation. Okay, so here we consider this block, okay, and this normal to that face that is making theta angle with the x-axis. Okay, so this is the transformation rule. Now Morse circle says that point, okay, it is a circle where points on the periphery of that circle represents the state of stress acting on a plane which makes the angle, okay, with the small x-axis. For example, this is the point which refers the x-plane. Okay, x-plane. That means it is making 0 angle with respect to the small x-axis, and here it is the small y-plane. Okay, so this is the point. This is the point whose coordinate, you see, in order to identify the coordinate in 2D, you need two real values. Okay, usually we represent using this pair. So this coordinate represents the state of stress that is acting on a plane which makes 2 theta angle with the small x-axis. That means here the rotation is taken clockwise, whereas the actual wedge or the block, the rotation is considered as a anti-clockwise direction. So this circle, okay, this the axis, horizontal axis passing through the center of that circle, that axis denote the normal stress direction. Okay, normal stress can be identified by taking the coordinate along that horizontal direction, whereas the shear stress acting on that plane, it is upward direction, we keep the positive value. Okay, as we have seen that, okay, when you change the you add theta 90 degree angle with theta, you arrive at the other t plane, but the sign becomes negative. Okay, so here since we are considering a single plane, okay, say n plane, and continuously changing that, so here physical rotation theta means here on the Morse circle the angle will be 2 theta, 2 times. So if you rotate by 90 degree, here it would be 180 degree. So here suppose you have the x-plane, you rotate it by 90 degree, so you get the other plane, right? Initially when this n plane, if the theta is 0, that means it coincides with the x-plane. Okay, explain, the coordinates are positive, we have seen. Now if you rotate by 90 degree, you see that the x plane you get the shear stresses or the stresses, shear stress is upward positive, and this is sigma xx. Okay, this is the normal stress. Okay, and if you rotate by 90 degree, what you see that okay, this face will come here, this face will go there. So you get sigma xx, rotated sigma xx up vertically upward, and rotated sigma xy, that is opposite direction. Okay, so that you are getting by rotating the x plane by 90 degree. Okay, but in this plane, this orientation coincides with the y plane on which the stress is acting. What we have chosen, that from respecting the convention, that means the positive plane, positive direction. So left to right is positive, but here by rotating we are getting the opposite direction. So if we try to describe everything by one plane, that means when you rotate by 90 degree, which would be reflected here by 180 degree, you get the reverse sign. That's why you see that offset, this distance is sigma xy. Okay, so b, that is b xy. When you rotate by 90 degree, here it would be 180 degree, you get the opposite one, minus sigma xy. Okay, because of that. Okay, because you are rotating the x plane by 90 degree, you are arriving, you are at the y plane, but it is not the actual y plane, rotated x plane. Okay, so this point should be very, you may get confusion because of that. Okay, now what we do, we rotate here by theta. So this block, this triangular part, it is rotated. I said that on the Mohr circle, the rotation would be clockwise direction, whereas the actual block, you say you consider the anti-clockwise rotation. So if you rotate by 2 theta, you say you arrive at this point. Now if this magnitude is sigma xy and this magnitude is the half of the difference, sigma xx minus sigma yy by xy by 2, yy by 2, then if you rotate it, you see you need to you have the different projected component. Initially the projection of this point on the horizontal axis was this much. Once you rotate it, it becomes larger. Okay, it becomes larger. How much is that value? You have to consider these two legs. So geometric, exploiting the geometry, you can identify that this value will become a times cosine of 2 theta, whereas this part it would be b times sine of 2 theta, because this angle is 2 theta. Okay, whereas if you consider the y offset, that means the vertical direction, how much is that? So you take this component of a on the y axis, that is a times sine 2 theta, and the component of this projection of b, that this leg, that becomes b times cosine of theta. So apparently it is larger than this minus that. So it exactly matches with this expression. Okay, so when you talk about the other plane, that means the here TD plane, you get the same expression but with a negative sign. Okay, so you have now two options. One is the mathematical way of identifying or calculating the stress, transformed stress components, and the second one is the geometric way of deriving or computing the stress components. Okay, now let us see. Sorry. So let me come back to this figure again. What we see that okay, Mohr circle, using Mohr circle one can describe. Now another feature one can observe, because this I am trying to enter in the another chapter, another part, that is principal stresses. If you see, if you keep increasing the angle theta, that means keep rotating this block, okay, and try to, you see here this each and every point on that circle represents a particular plane which makes certain angle with the horizontal axis, but passing through the same point where the stresses are given. Okay, so state of stress at a point with respect to some chosen axis is given. Now our job is to identify the state of stress with respect to some other coordinate system. Okay, So rotated coordinate system, but that plane, no, the plane on which this point is lying, okay, maybe the orientation is different. Okay, every time we consider that plane, rotated plane, passes through that point, contains that point. Okay, so you have infinite number of planes. Each and every point denote a family of planes. Okay, passing through that same point, making some angle. Okay, the given angle. That angle can be calculated. For example, this point makes 2 theta angle with the reference axis. So this is the initial point. You calculate how much is the angle it is making. Half of that is the physical angle. Okay, but one thing is clear to us, that if we keep increasing the theta, we see that sigma nn that attains a maximum value at some orientation. Also, it attains a minimum value at some orientation. Okay, and you see these changes, no? Whereas the shear stress, it attains its maximum value at some other configuration, some rotation. Okay, with a plus sign or negative sign, doesn't matter. But there are 2 points where they take 0 values. Okay, so we identify, we shall see that these 2 are the points. Okay, so corresponds to the principal stresses. Okay, the principal stresses, that means the a particular plane on which only normal stress would be acting. Okay, so let us see what we get. Okay, I am deleting this one for the time being. Okay, so as I said that, okay, if you keep increasing the theta, you see that, okay, this sigma nn and sigma tt, they all changes takes the different values. At some value of theta, they attain their maximum value, and some other angle they may attain the minimum value. Okay, so at maximum or minimum, what happens? A function, if it attains its maxima, that means derivative of that function with respect to the parameter which you are changing, here in this case the rotation angle, okay, that must be 0. So if we differentiate sigma nn, so d as sigma nn by d theta, what we see, that this is a constant, goes out, so minus sigma xx sigma yy by 2 sin 2 theta. Okay, and then 2 is multiplied, so 2 will be gone. Okay, so this 2 is gone. Okay, and then you consider the next part, plus 2 sigma xy cosine of 2 theta. Okay, cosine of 2 theta. You see, if we divide by 2 half, then we get, there is a 2, we get rid of this 2. Okay, this 2 gets cancelled. So, and if we set it to 0, because that is the condition of attaining this maximum value of theta sigma nn. So, for a particular value of theta where sigma nn attains its maximum value or minimum value, this derivative will become 0. Okay, so now additionally we are multiplying with the factor half. Okay, because we have some intention in our mind. Okay, so you see that we are getting this expression. Incidentally, if we compare these 2 equations, we see that, okay, they are same. That means the value, the orientation theta for which we are getting the sigma nn is attaining its maximum value. Okay, there you get the 0 shear stress. So that setting that you can identify. Okay, and that can be reflected from the Mohr circle, already we have seen. So we see that, okay, this means tan 2 theta becomes, this goes 0, this goes to that side, 2 sigma xy by sigma xx minus sigma yy. So we arrive at some expression. Okay, we arrive at some expression where we see that, okay, in order to identify the maximum value or minimum value of this sigma nn, you need to you can identify that particular orientation by solving this equation. You see, there are two solutions. You check out, you see this expression says that you have two solutions. So that means these 2 points and these two solutions are 90 degree apart. Okay. So here you get 90 degree multiplied by 2 means 180 degree. Okay. So that means you get two particular planes. Okay, two particular planes. So in one plane, sigma n attains its maximum value. The other plane, it attains its minimum value. Okay, those planes where the shear stresses sigma nt that takes 0 value are referred as the principal planes. Okay, so you given the stress components, you can solve this equation. You can identify the orientation, and then after that you identify the other thing. Okay, so you identify the maximum value of this principal stress. Okay, or the maximum value of sigma nn, which is known as the principal stress. Okay, so there are two principal stresses. One is the maximum, another is the minimum. But in both the configurations, both the value of theta, you get 0 shear stress. Okay, so if we compute sigma 1 and 2, usually the principal stresses we identify with the number sigma 1 and 2. Two roots are there. So you get sigma xx plus sigma yy by 2 plus minus this directly can be verified using the Mohr circle. Okay, so here you get the principal values. It is not difficult. You get this simple expression. Okay, the plus and minus they corresponds to the maximum value and minimum value.